Mr. Principato, can you please come up 178?
John Principato, 1706 Westover Road. There's a couple of different retirement planning services that I'm aware of. I think there's Voya, there's Hartford, and I'm not sure if there are any others. Maybe somebody could let me know. We had the representative from Hartford come speak to us, to employees of the city of Linden, my department, and the gentleman was fantastic. His name is Nick Minnis. Voya, I'm not sure who is the representative from that company, but I'm just wondering, are we now bringing in a third representative? Are we getting rid of one of the representatives that we currently have? What's going on? Because this is a little bit vague to me, and being that I've been involved in both of these retirement plans, at least in one way, shape, or form, for 24 and a half years, I want to know what's going on. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, before we answer that, I'm going to have everybody answer questions, and then I'll have Mr. Antonelli answer everything.
That's going to be hard.
Okay. No. Why?
It's going to be hard because I'm going to forget what John said.
Mr. Antonelli, do you have an answer for Mr. Principato?
This is the broker for just the Voya Financial Retirement Fund.
So we're going to be replacing Voya?
Yeah, this resolution rescinds a prior resolution appointing a broker, and also now reappoints a new broker to oversee the Voya Financial Services account.
So this is a different broker for Voya?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay. What happened? I mean, from what I've been told from other employees within the city, some just told me tonight that they're very happy with the current broker. And how do we go from broker? I know Nick Minnis has been involved in this for many, many years, over 20 years that I've been involved in it. How come we're now midstream changing brokers?
If I could just respond. So
Yes,
this
Mr.
doesn't
Antonelli.
affect Nick, the gentleman you're referring to?
No, it has nothing to do with it. No, I know it doesn't.
Okay.
But what I'm asking is, if all of a sudden you came to me and said we're going to replace the gentleman from Hartford, I'd be pretty damn upset, because he did a lot of good work for me and took phone calls from me at all hours, gave me his cell number and so forth, and did a lot of good things for me. So what I'm asking is, why? Why are we changing the broker?
Because they can't.
Mr. Antonelli?
I was asked to prepare a resolution to change brokers. I could just tell you this. There are certain decisions of council that decide who perhaps is the appropriate broker. About a year and a half ago, this council decided to replace Brown & Brown with a new broker, and that was their decision. Just hold on. So in this particular instance, R.D. Parisi is the current broker for the city's dental plan, and I believe now there's a decision, once this is voted upon, to switch brokers and utilize the services of R.D. Parisi and the Wells Fargo group here to oversee Voya Financial. That's my answer.
May I ask who asked you to change the broker?
Sure, the mayor.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Roman, 178?
So, council, is this the same resolution you handed us in council caucus last night?
Who you talking to?
Ms. Antonelli,
This is the same, well, this is a revised resolution from last evening. The resolution contains some additional information concerning the business entity disclosure and the addition of the co-broker with R.D. Parisi.
Why is it, council, Mr. Mayor, because you put this resolution up, council, why is it mandatory that we add another broker to Parisi Associates who was on the original resolution last night and now has an added broker?
I was waiting for that additional information from Mr. Parisi, which I had gotten this morning, and when I did, we revised the resolution, sent it over to the clerk.
Okay. The real answer is that Parisi Associates by themselves aren't able to do the work because, as council said before, they're just our dental insurance people, and they don't do deferred compensation. That's why they need the extra. I see here that we are hiring this firm, but they didn't apply for an RFQ back in November when we put it out, request for qualifications. We have a list. It's basically our vendor list of who can do this type of work, but they weren't on it for deferred compensation. Is this a normal practice? Is this legal?
It's absolutely 100% legal.
Thank you, sir. Also, I see here you said that they added that the Wells Fargo Group and Parisi Associates, Parisi, is that the same name as the West Orange mayor? And is that his firm? Council? Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, Rob Parisi is the mayor of West Orange.
Thank you, sir. So it says here on the resolution, they have not made any reportable contributions to political or candidates, committees in the city of Linden in the previous year, and a contract will prohibit them from making any further contracts. Can you explain this a little bit? Have they given any person on council, or the mayor obviously, a contribution in the last year?
I can't tell you personally what they give. However, they have filled out what's called a business entity disclosure, which has listed the names of the current members of the governing body and a certification indicating that they have not, or at least if there was a contribution made, they would have to disclose it and sign a certification to that. If this contract is awarded, then they will be prevented from making any contributions during the life of the contract, subject to a $300 threshold.
So basically, it's the resolution says they haven't given anything in the last year and they can't give anything any further.
They have not given any contributions
Yeah.
to the current members of
Yes.
council or the mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, have you received a donation from these gentlemen in the last year?
No, I have not, sir.
How about the last 2 years?
Is that relevant? Last 2 years? It says last year, right?
Okay, so just a question is, have you received a donation from them in the last 4 years?
Well, I could say, and I'll answer for the mayor, there's a certification by Mr. Parisi indicating that he's not.
Mr. Antonelli, I remind you that you work for us and not just the mayor. Yes, the answer is the mayor has received $1,000 from these people during his last campaign. Thank you, Council President.
Councilwoman Hickey?
Well, Councilman Roman, you stole a few of my words. First, I want to let everybody know that this is deferred compensation insurance. Since I can remember, and I could be wrong, the city has always carried this out, as with many of our vendors, by an RFQ process, a request for qualifications. So in order to do business with our city, you get something this thick from our purchasing department. And it's very detailed, it's very meticulous of what you have to fill out in order to be a vendor or a vendor to our city. So EPG was hired in 2017. Now, I want to remind everybody, because you probably might not be familiar with this, but EPG is licensed, they are qualified by Voya, and they handle about $30 million of hard-earned retirement funds from all of our city employees and first responders. $30 million, okay? So our dental insurance broker, Parisi, and I can't understand what's going on here, because in January 18th, our EPG, Economic Planning Group, to represent our deferred comp insurance, who all the employees seem to love, was voted unanimously to do the work for 2018 for our city. They sent in this quite thick report that they are extremely qualified. And now all of a sudden, you know, it's funny because the past few months, at the last minute, we receive our agendas about a week before council meeting. Friday before, Thursday before. Well, it seems that every caucus meeting now on a Monday night, we get our agendas, and then all of a sudden, after everything's handed out and everybody's settled, and when it's time to go over resolutions, the city attorney comes out with another resolution that we are not able to review and to go over. And then the next day, as council meeting, as it's happening today, the resolution that was presented the night before that we didn't have time to review is revised for our council meeting. I don't know what kind, I mean, is it just because it's March, the shenanigans that are going on? But I have to say, I am hoping that council members here tonight know that this is about $30 million of our employees' hard work retirement plan, and it's not about political games when it comes to this. We're going from a fair, open process of qualified licensed insurance companies to we're just going to give it to whoever, you know, by just whoever the wind blows in. This is not fair, and I hope council realizes what they're doing to our employees and takes this off the agenda tonight and leaves the contract in place for the right qualified insured person. Thank you.
Ms. Cosby?
Very good comments, and just I want to say, it's funny to me. I'm not trying to make light of the situation. However, I've said before, we should get our information in advance so we can make questions if we have questions. And all I'm going to say about this one is, so we've learned tonight that there was a political contribution given to the person who requested to have this resolution done. And I want to say that previously we have changed the vendors, but we've changed them for specific reasons. You know, they could save us money, or there were some deficiencies in the services that were being provided. So I'm not supporting voting for this for someone who, number one, is not on the list of qualified vendors, and number two, who, because of their relationship with a politician, expects to get some kind of political payback. And so I'm going to make a motion now that we remove this from the agenda and ask for a second.
Second.
Third.
To remove. Mrs. Ormond.
No.
Javik.
I abstain.
Abstention turns into a yes.
No.
Mohammed.
He already said no, Mr.
Okay.
Porter.
Cosby.
Yes.
Roman.
Yes.
Strano.
No.
Yamakaitis.
No.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Sad, yes.
Alvarez.
Yes.
5-5 with one abstention.
Well, actually, there's one missing.
I'm sorry, five yes, 4 no, 1 abstention.
So it passes.
So it's removed.
Is it? Yes.
Sure
It's removed.
is.
And so, with that, I want to just tell everybody in the viewing public and everybody who's listening and watching or who may have a concern, honest government. That is what we require. And we should not be forced to vote on things that we're not comfortable with or because there are 6 people who are going to vote a certain way, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. That's what we need to stop. And that's why we need to take a hard look at what the elected officials say and what they do come the elections. So I'm just going to put it out there.
Mr. Antonelli, I have a question for you, and please correct me because I could be wrong. You were asked a question if there was any changes between what was given to us, I'm saying us even though I wasn't there last night, given to us yesterday, and there's a difference between what's there today?
Yeah, there are 2 changes.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know. Do you know, and I'm sure you do know, that the council, and about half of this council, has been going to court under Ethics Committee because there was a change from one night to the other?
I understand.
Don't answer.
Yes, to answer your question.
Okay, don't answer. Mr. Bodek, I ask you please not to receive anything after the due date. We will not be receiving anything more on the agenda. Anything that's turned in on Monday will be turned away, okay? If you want to turn someone in, turn it in and give us a chance to review it. There's nothing wrong with it. We look at it, we review it, and then it'll be voted on council.
Well, if I could say this, Council President, that's fine, but understand, if I'm asked by the mayor or any member of council to prepare a resolution, that's what I do.
I understand
You
that,
guys
sir.
vote on it, you decide what to do with it, but I'm not going to say no to either yourself, any other member of council, or the mayor who asked myself or my office to prepare a resolution or an ordinance.
I understand. I'm going to tell the council right now and the mayor, with all due respect, we will not be accepting anything on the agenda past the due date. Very simple. You have 4 weeks until next month to put in whatever you need to put in. Okay, Mr. Bodek? Yes, sir. Thank you. That's removed. Let's move on. No, we